Okay, this is 324a, another difficult derivation. So we want to show that there's something such that fx and there's a thing and a thing. The one is f and not g, if and only if the other is g and not f. So we'll go ahead and do that. Can't get more in than that, but that's okay. Now we'll instantiate both of our premises, and they're both existential quantifiers, so I'm just going to instantiate them like that. Okay, now this is where things get tricky. So we have this, we can instantiate 2 to I, and then go ahead and Q on it. We can also instantiate 2 to J and Q on it. And we think we may want to do both of these because each universal quantifier should be instantiated to, at least, if we don't instantiate it to all the possible variables, then we don't know, maybe we haven't instantiated enough. Now that means we should instantiate 5 as well, because there's a new universal quantifier in it, and we might instantiate it to I. And let's move that negation in with NB. And similarly, we'll instantiate it to J and move it in with NB. And then we go to 6 and we do the same thing. Now this is a little bit ugly. We have now 6 biconditionals, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to need to do a subderivation because we're stuck. So what do we want to do a subderivation with? Well, we're almost certainly going to have to use both 3 and 4, but we don't know if we're going to use all of 7, 8, 9, and 10. So what we want to do is do a subderivation with 3 and 4. So we could do fi, do a subderivation of fi, or of gj, or of p. And I think we should do a subderivation with p because that will straightforwardly interact with both 3 and 4. So we're going to show ant of 3, and it's going to be p. Okay, so now we'll make an indirect assumption, and this will interact with both of our those lines. So now we have not fi and we have not gj. So we want to consider, okay, well, will either of these interact with any of 7, 8, 9, and 10? Well, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are biconditionals. So if we can get either side, we can do something. We can do BP. But also if we get the negation of either side, we can do BP. So let's see if using 13 we can get the negation of either side. Well, if we look, we see that the left side of 7 is fi and not gi. Well, if fi is false, as 13 says it is, then this conjunction is false. Same thing with line 8. So if this is true, then this is false, and that's false. That could be quite useful. So what we want to do is we want to show that, let's go ahead and use a show command for this. We want to do show neg cons, let's save line 8. So this is what we want to show. And we'll say assume ID. Oh, look, so we'll split off the fi and copy down the not fi, and we have an indirect derivation. Good, so now I can use 15 with 7 and 8. Now we might not be sure, do we need to use it with both or either? So if we're not sure, we can just go ahead and use it with both and see what we get. Let's get rid of that double negation. And also we're going to use 15 with 8, BP, D, and E. Okay, well, oh, look, 21 looks pretty useful because its left side negates 14. So we can say 21 SL, and that contradicts 14. Okay, good. So we have P. Now we want to use P with both line 3 and line 4. And now we want to do the same thing. Do fi or gj interact with the sides of either of our derivations? Excuse me. Well, if we look again, we can see that, well, how about fi? So does fi give us this? No, because it doesn't tell us that gi is false. Does it give us the negation of this? No, so that's not so useful. Okay, does fi give us the negation of this? Well, fi says that this is false, right? And that means that this conjunction is false. That means that the negation of the conjunction is true. So indeed it does. And in this case it gives us this, and it also gives us this. So what we want to show is, well actually let me show you a derived rule. We can say, and then we can apply the derived rule NCJ. And what this does is, if from a negation you can infer the negation of a conjunction, and this is the one we want. We want not fi on the right, and we want gi on the left. And this is the left side of 7 and 9. So we can say -1, 7 BP, and -2, 9 BP. Now you don't need to use this derived rule, but it does make it slightly quicker. And again, we think 28, 29, oh, the right side of 29 is the negation of 25. So we have 25, 29, ID, don't we? Oh, 30. And our derivation is complete. So there we go. That's 324A.